Hello everyone, Ceri the Crafter here, that's C-E-R-I the Crafter, and I've got a little tutorial for you today generated by a comment on a video that I've recently released. This journal generated a question. Now in here, where are we? It's in here somewhere. This one of these pockets. Now, the comment came from Michelle Smith saying, was there a tutorial on how the little pocket with the owl was made, and I think this is the one that Michelle was referring to, and I ended up using that one. I love this pocket, but that had more of a feel to it, and if I remember correctly, there's another one in here as well. There's another one there. As you can see, let's do it with this one, it's easy for you to see. There's a pocket behind it, a pocket within it. Michelle also asked, she said, or is there something on the little booklet? Now, I went through everything that I was using, couldn't find anything that was a booklet, and I have a feeling it may have been this that Michelle saw, because it was in the ephemera box. Michelle, this is just a strip of card. I would say it's a 12 by 12. It's a strip. Let's see if I can find a ruler. Come on, ruler, where are you? Right, so it is almost 4 inches tall. I would imagine this is about, yeah, this is 6, so I would say it's made from an offcut from a 12 by 12. So it would have been a 4 inch by 12 inch long. I've scored it, folded the ends back on themselves and glued them down the spine to make pockets. And then I've just put some coffee dye paper in the middle. So I didn't think we needed a tutorial on that, if in fact that is the right one. So anyway, on to this. So that's what I'll put a link to this journal video. I'll put a link to the first video in this series. And then if you all see the whole make, you can see the whole make. Right. So this, I only have 5 of these left in my stash. As you can see, I must have been doing a mass make. So as you can see, there's different ways. I must have just been using scraps up to make these. So anyway, that's what we're looking at. And as I've only got 5 of them left, I thought, you know what, why don't we just make some? Because I obviously need some for my stash. Now, what are they made from? These are actually made from time cards. Now, these are coffee dyed and these are ink dyed time cards. I bought them on either eBay or Amazon a very long time ago. We're talking a couple of years, because I think they come in a bundle of 50, I think, when I bought them. The company, can you read? Are you going to be able to read that? It's www.alldaytime.co.uk, and the reference on this is UT2000W. Okay. However, if you go onto either eBay or Amazon and just put in time card, you will find there are so many different types of time cards. But I'm fully aware not everyone has access to that. So we're going to, if you've got time cards, use time cards. I'm going to show you a way of doing them with time cards and a way without doing time cards. Let's put this to one side. So I've got a file folder here. This is an offcut of a file folder. It's almost the same color as this before it was dyed. So let's just make some. Now, all the time card is basically a long rectangle of card. So let's just get ourselves sorted here. How long is one of these? Let's see if I go that way on. Well, it's almost exactly the right height. So what dimensions are these? Right. That's 2 notches past, or 2 notches, 1, 2, 3, 7 3/8, I think that means. So let's make this 7 3/8. 7 and, let's do it this way around, Griffiths, it'll be easier. 7 3/8. Okay, it wasn't that far off what it needed to be. And how wide are these? These are 3 1/4 wide. So for those of you who work in centimeters or decimalization, the length of these is 185 millimeters by, I'd say, 82 millimeters. What did I say this was? Sorry, I'm still back in old money. 3 1/4. Right. So Let's first of all get rid of this bit because it's going to be a pain to do. Let's say 3 1/4, I said, didn't I? 3 1/4, 3 1/4, and I'm going to keep this little bit, not for this project, however, it makes a really good hinge. So that will go into, I've got a project coming up where I'll probably end up needing hinges, so it goes into that box. Right, that's to one side. Let's take this out of the way. So we now have our own version of a time card. There you go, time card, our version. So what I'm going to do is we're going to think, right, how do I need to change these to look like one of these? Now, first of all, let's look at the thing we're actually making. There's just something in the background. It may get covered up. Does it need to be a time card? No, it doesn't need to be a time card. Use whatever you've got is what I'm going to say. So first of all, let's see if I got them dried. Let's just do them like this. Okay, you could take a piece of music paper and just line. Now, all you need to do is you need to line approximately, let's see, what is this? About 3 1/4 inches of it, which we've already said, I think is 82, is 82. So all you really need to do is the top 3 1/2 inches, because these are going to be folded back on themselves. So you just need to do something that's going to work for that. So if you've got music paper, I like to use something with lines on it. So using music paper works. Let's just take that off there. Take this off here. Sorry, it's getting on my nerves now. This piece will go into my scraps because it gets stamped for numbers and labels and things like that. Let's tear this bit down here just so that I know it's the right width. And then because I know it's roughly the same, it's the same height pocket as it is the width, I can just use the measurement to do it that way. So I'm only going to do one of those like that. So let's put this to one side. The other thing you can use, if you've got it, which looks even more authentic, is use something like ledger paper. I know not everyone has it, but if you've got it, this is a good thing to use it for. So I'm just going to come in again, lay my piece on here, slide this across, give it a bit of rip. And again, I'm just going to give it a 90-degree turn, and that will just give me the right height for my pocket. I mean, it's not an exact science, it's whatever you want it to be. So that will then give me the turn up on my pocket. Let's put these scraps out of the way so I get on my nerves. Now, the other option is to actually do some stamping. So let's bring in, come on, this. Now, if you have this on your area, make sure this is the bit that's going to be folded up. Okay, so I'll put those two down like that. Now I just need to get some, I would say, black ink and get a stamp pad. So I'm using Archival Black by Ranger. And I've also pulled out a load of different stamps. Now, if you've got a stamp that has something like this with lines and a grid on it, by all means use that. But if you don't, most of us have got something like this, okay? That's a Tim Holtz one. These were a Tim Holtz one. They were one. I split them into 2 packets. These, just generic. Couldn't tell you where they came from. Are they going to be deep enough? They're not. But I could stamp it twice. So just know that there are options. Actually, I will do this one. I quite like this one. Let's take that out of there. Right, let's get myself a stamping block. All right, one stamping block. Now, for some reason, I'm finding if I put them sideways when I'm trying to line things up with the top edge on a video, it helps me. I don't know whether it's going to help anyone else, but just know that for me, for some reason, I'm finding it easier to line things up because I can look at it to make sure that edge there is lined up with my stamping. So don't mind it's faint, that's fine with me. It's probably going into the background. I'm going to give it another layer of text just in case the pocket's different. There you go. Repeat that. Yeah, I don't know where half of my script stamps come from. I know there is someone who sent me a message via my email asking where to get script stamps from, and I need to answer that person. Sorry, I haven't got round to it yet. I was trying to see whether I could find out where I got them from, and I couldn't. So let's put those to one side. Right, this can just sit out of the way. So take that out there. Right, so these are fine, ready to go. I don't mind that it's slightly pale there. It's just a hint of whenever something's on there, maybe that much will show, that much will show. I don't mind. Now I'm going to stick these down, and I'm going to take a bit of a risk because we're pretty much going to get these wet in a few minutes. And to be honest with you, I've got a feeling that the bit I've just stuck on will be floating back off. But you know what? It's fine. I can deal with that. I don't know whether you can buy time cards in smaller amounts on, say, Etsy or somewhere like that. And maybe there's someone out there who's been very industrious and has actually purchased time cards and then split them into smaller packs. Let's do it that way on. I'm just using a glue stick here, and the brand I use is Prit, as you probably know by now if you follow me on YouTube. Just lining them up. So let's give this a bit of a wipe, or else I'm going to be in a bit of trouble later on. Just so I can get that off there. That's one thing I like about water-soluble glues. The cleanup is a lot easier. Right, let's put that down by there. So we have our fake time cards now. There's a bit of an edge there. Just going to trim that off with the scissors, just because it's easier to do it now than it is to do it when the thing is assembled. Any extra on there? No. Get that stuck off my scissors. So we're now going to go on to like the coffee dyeing process. So what I'm going to do is, while these two are drying, these two are ready to go, I'm going to make up some coffee mixture. So here I'm back again. Right, I've got just that much in a jar. That's probably about a teacup full of hot water, and it's just hot water directly out of the tap. I don't, for a small batch, I'm not going to go and boil the kettle when there's hot enough water. And I get an inexpensive brand of instant coffee, and I'd say I probably put 4 or 5 of these teaspoons in. It's cheap coffee. I don't mind putting quite a bit of coffee in there. I'll just give it a bit of a stir just to get it all mixed up. Now, the one thing about coffee dyeing stuff is you think your coffee is actually really strong in colour, but you'll probably find it's not when it goes onto your paper and dries. So just be aware. Now, if there's any little bits of coffee undissolved, that also doesn't bother me. Let's put this somewhere where I'm not going to drop it. Let's put the lid on. Give it a bit of a swirl around. Oh, I guess this jar's not waterproof then. I thought it was. Easily cleaned up. So I've just made that much coffee mix. Now, if you're someone who does tea, you could do the same with tea bags. Although if I was doing tea, I would boil my water because you'll get much better results because the tea will seep out of the tea bag better. Now, for me, when I'm doing coffee dyeing, I've got one of these. It's a cat litter tray. Picked it up really inexpensively. It's a cat litter tray, end of story. So we're going to do one of these and we're going to do one of these just to have different results. Now I've got one of these brushes. I've had it several years. I think I picked it up on my local pound store and I don't mind it gets battered and bashed. And I'm literally going to come in and I'm going to put coffee on my brush and I'm going to brush over both of them. As I said, I do have the problem that potentially that music paper is going to lift up. If it does, I'll just stick it back down again. Come on. Now that's all I'm going to do for my coffee dye. That's enough to give it some colour. Then I'm going to get one of these mats that you've seen me use for gluing and I'm just going to lay it on my windowsill just so that it dries. I may put a hairdryer on it in a bit. Now this setup here, what I'll do, I should take some of that out of that. Should dribble a few drips onto them just to give them a little more attitude. So this, when I finish filming, I will just deal with this. This, once I've used it today, I put it in my fridge and I'll keep it for about 3 or 4 days. But because of only a small amount, it doesn't bother me. I can do some papers, some cards, some backgrounds, tags. You will get a lot out of this. You'd be surprised. You don't need to make a gallon of coffee. Now, the other version I do, if I don't want to do coffee dyeing, is I do ink dyeing. So let's move that up a bit. Now I'm just taking a range of distress ink. This is Vintage Photo. I'm going to come in. You might have seen me do this before. Just going to smear some onto a surface and I'm going to spritz it with a bit of water just to get it nice and activated. And then I'm going to come in and just pick it up with my piece that I want to coffee dye. I do this with index cards. I do it with envelopes. I do it with quite a few things. This is my fast and furious way if I want some coffee dyed something without making coffee. This is how I do it. Okay, just get that little bit off there. Right, let's get another one of those sheets to put this on to dry. Now what I'm going to do here, because I've got that already there, I'm going to come in, I'm just going to mop it up with the coffee ones because it's a different coloration. It might add some interesting blots onto things. So right, leave that, give this a wipe off. So here I'm back again. They've dried with a hairdryer. Now you will find that they go curly normally when I do this, and I don't mind the ripples in the pages. That's just part and parcel of it being wet and then drying it quickly. If this had been coffee dyed, if it had already been glued down, then coffee dyed, it would have shrunk back if I hadn't have hurried it up with the hairdryer. You will find that they're ripply at this point. If I was doing this not in one session, I will put these under a heavy book just to flatten them out again. But to be honest with you, once they're done, they'll be fine. So as you can see, let's pull in. Let's see if I can sort these out to be which ones were which. Right, so this was coffee dyeing. And this was coffee dyeing. Same process, just different textures. This was with the Tim Holtz Distress Inks. As you can see, it's got that oranginess. I really like this effect. This is more like tea dyeing for me. So now, right, in true mass make fashion, I just need to come in and do a bit of prep. Now, this bit is going to become the pocket. At the other end, I actually want to put a thumb notch. So I'm just going to come in. I think this is a 1-inch round hole punch. I'm just going to come in. I don't put a thumb notch in the pocket that's folded up, as you'll see, but I do put a thumb notch at the top because when I stick them on the page, I use them as a pocket. They can be attached on the page as a tuck spot as well, which means you don't glue it on 2 sides. And we'll talk about that when we get them finished. So let's pop this last one through. I've got little half crescent shapes all over my studio now, but there you go. The joys of creating. So I'm not going to worry too much about how much I fold these up. Okay, just so you know. However, let's see where the ones I made. So I just need to find which bits are which. Right, if you've got a journal, an actual time card, as you can see, what I did is I folded it up to about that line there, so that this whole panel was the bottom pocket, okay? So that's what I folded it up to. You can see it there. Okay, that's it there. So I can do that on all of these, knowing that that's where it needs to be. You could, of course, come in and score them if you're not good at folding. I'm not gonna score these. I'm just gonna fold them. I am, however, going to use a bone folder just to give them a bit of a press flat, because time cards are not flimsy. They are quite substantial, because obviously they have to go in and out of a machine. They have to be stamped upon. So they're meant to be handled frequently, should we say. And I'm leaving about, I would say, almost an inch at the top. Get the old ruler just so you can, okay, about 3/4 of an inch from the top. No one's going to come along and double check, guys. So these are the ones that now are not time cards. Oh, that's what's I'm doing in there. These are actually the ones we made. Now, because I cut them, the pieces to put on here, I know that these are actually going to be the right turn up. The ones I've stamped, I'm using guessology here. So that makes all of the bases ready to go. And as you saw, the piece that I did there turns up so that even if this is a time card, the inside of the time card is blank. You don't have the scenario where things are upside down. Okay, just wanted to point that out. So my next job now is I'm going to use art glitter glue for this. You use whichever glue you feel fit using. I have done this with PVA glue before now, but I do favour art glitter glue because of the speed in which it sticks. Let's push it over, give it a bit of a burnish just to make sure it's stuck down, and then that's ready to go. Right, I'm not going to make you sit there and watch me glue. I think it's 8 of these, so bear with me, back in 2 seconds. So that's them all glued. So basically, you could put these into your stash now, ready to go, ready to be decorated. Now, because of the coloration, I don't normally ink this top edge because it's very unlikely this surface is going to be the same as that surface if I've coffee dyed it. Sometimes when I use the vintage photo, it will be almost the same color, but I'm not overly bothered by that. If, however, you did, like these two look really, actually, yes, we'll do these. Actually, no, I'll do one of those and one of those. Say you did want to ink it. Firstly, you could have inked it beforehand, which I didn't because I like to save the inking for the decision as to whether the journal I'm putting in has that as a theme. If, however, I wanted to do inking afterwards, I just get myself a sticky note. It doesn't have to be a sticky note, but just be a piece of paper, and I slide it in. And then what I do is I take my ink blending tool and go along the edge. And what that does is it means I don't get it on the background. I only get it on the top edge of the pocket. As you can see, it does make a slight bit of difference. I would do it if it feels right to do it, is what I'm trying to get at. It is a very subtle difference. Like that one I wouldn't, that one I wouldn't. This one I probably would because it's almost the same as the background. Wouldn't. It looks like it's already been done, but I know it hasn't. So there you go. If I wanted to go around them, I would do that after they've been decorated. So, right, let's do a little bit of a mass make as far as pulling these all together as quickly as I can for you on screen. Because if I don't decorate them, what am I going to get? I'm going to get people saying, why didn't you decorate them? Because that's what you say to me. Now, one of the first things I personally like to do is I like putting a number in the top of them. I have in this one. I didn't do it in my others, but I actually wish I had because I really liked the numbers. So For me, numbers are, you know, when I tore the edges off those book pages earlier on, what I do is once I've got a pot full of them, I just come in and I stamp on them, just with whatever stamp I've got. I'm just going to use a glue stick just to put them on here. I don't worry if they're inked around. That's your call. I don't have to have them inked around. I just think it just puts a nice little tiny bit of detail onto the card without it being too much. If I've got something like this that actually has wording on, be careful, make sure that it can still be seen if you're going to do that, which is why I don't do the bigger ones. I tend to do just about this size. So it also doesn't matter if all of them are exactly the same number or exactly the same label or exactly the same style, because you know what? It's very rare you're going to get more than two in one journal. So I don't mind replicating a design for that specific reason. So I've just got some old magazine page over here I'm gluing on, guys. If you're hearing a tapping noise, I wonder whether that one would fit. Yeah, that one might fit. Put it on and see if I can slide it in place. There you go, don't mind that one. Just trying to find some variety in these little ones that I can use. I very much like mass making. The reason for that is it means that my stash of ephemera builds, and then like when I was doing the journal that I'll share the link to, it made it so much easier to finish the journal because basically I just pulled my ephemera boxes out and chose stuff that was within them. Well, that's going to go around that corner, isn't it? Let's just do a little snippy do here. There you go, that'll be all right. One more to go. Let's see if that one will fit. Will that one fit? Yes, take that bit off there. This, I have no idea what book that was off, but it was a really old book by the looks of it. And that's the trouble. Some of this paper, once it is old, it looks lovely, but it's so fragile. Sometimes you just can't do anything with it except stick it to something else because it just breaks otherwise. Like that one just broke on me there. Does it bother me? No, it does not bother me. So that's my numbers dealt with, unless I feel my designs need a number within them. So, right, I kind of like to put something in the background, like this has got book page, this has got a scrap, this had a die cut, this one had a book page, this one had a cluster. Now I've got clusters, which we will do on one of these, but as I've got music paper here anyway, I'm going to use it because we've already got it. Now, I am not bothered that it is white and the rest of the piece is coffee dyed. I like that. It gives me some contrast. I'm not actually putting inking on the side of the paper. I don't mind it being the colour it is. That was a darn good guess. That was a complete fluke, guys. I don't normally get that lucky. Right, so we've done a bit of music paper. Let's see if I find a bit of ledger. Let's take this off of here. I do tend to favour things down the left-hand side of my cards. That's just me doing me, basically. You can put whatever you want anywhere on these. It's just me putting a bit of base colour into something, or a bit of interest into the background, should I say. Let's put that on. Come here. See on this one. Now, as far as the surplus goes, it's only ledger paper. It's really thin. Just going to fold around. This side's never going to be seen. Now, that's two of them ready to go. We're ready for the next stage anyway. Right, what else? Let's have a look. Right, now pull in my scrap drawer. This is my pattern scraps. And let's just see what we can pull out of the pattern scraps to go onto here. I don't mind that. I quite like that colour. Right, because this is almost that colour, I am going to put a little bit of ink around the edge of this piece, purely because otherwise it's just going to merge into the background. And already this is now telling me it's probably going to have a mushroom or a bird or something fall-like upon it. And that's a bad place to put that, right over where I'm gluing stuff. So just pop that on there. That's another one done. Right, this one's got a nice rich colour to it. I think I'd like to find something for that too. That will do. Let's just chop that off. Where's my little... the brand of this trimmer is that, by the way, or guillotine today, we'll be asking. And I don't mind it sideways. That's also okay with me, because I don't actually know what's going in front of them. Half of this could be covered anyway, so... Yeah, bubbles out from underneath that one. Right, what else is in this drawer? What's interesting? What's that from? Why do I think I know that? I think that's part of a Rachel Bella Craft digital kit. And I think it's from a journal I did called Bohemian Girls, I think it's called, or Bohemian Rhapsody, or something like that. If you look in making journals for beginners, I'm sure you'll see it in there. Let's do that across that way for a change. So that one done. Right, needs something different. Let's have a little look. That's the right size piece of ephemera. We might keep that to one side. That might come in handy. No. It's a strip of purple. Let's put a little piece of purple in. Don't know why, but I just fancy putting that bit of purple in there. This is pretty much like making a cluster without making a cluster. And a cluster is just a group of random pieces of paper or card all attached together. Actually, that's interesting. What's that? I think this is just a bit of stamped or coffee dyed paper. And I want to say this stamp is from Eddie Makes Art, Eddie Riaz. And it's one of his designs for PM Artist Studio. I want that not to be going up, I want to go across. And I think I am going to just ink the edge of this just to define it a little. And I think that can go on that one. Again, I'm not bothered about the surplus, just going to fold it under, give it a good pinch with my finger and thumb. That leaves one left here. Actually, this is just a coffee-coloured piece of music paper. That will be interesting. Pity they're not the same width. Staves. I'm sure they're called staves. This can go on there. So now comes the bit that's really fun, which is the decorating bit. Now I am going to trim this piece off because I know this is a bit thicker paper than all of the other paper I folded over. This is more of a presentation paper. Just making sure I don't cut the bottom of the pocket itself. So now we've got to the stage that the fun begins, to be honest with you. Let's put the lid on this glue. So I picked this up and I quite like this. This is just a little something. And it's kind of appealing to me. There's something about it that's nice and interesting. Over just ever so slightly. Let's put an edge on that and see what it looks like. This also might be Rachel and Bella Crafts. This might be the same kit, to be honest with you. Let's put that on there. I like that on there. Now, you know me, everything's going to be layers, 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 because that's just the way I roll. I'd like to roll and have it the right way up, though. Let's use that line there as a benefit. Right. Let's start with the one I know that's going to be reasonably easy. I've got some button clusters here. This is just a little booklet I made to keep my button clusters in. Just trying to find something that... I'm looking at the purple one, to be honest with you. I'm thinking this one would look really nice with a button cluster on it. See, there's purple here, but that's... There's quite a lot of purple here. Actually, that one's quite nice. I think it's about time I made small button clusters. Actually, I'm liking this one, I think. No, I'm not liking that one. Funny, I thought I was. Let's use this one instead. Okay, I think I like that one. Let's leave that one there. Right, because it's fabric, I'm obviously going to use Fabri-Tac just to glue down the back. Is there a right way or a wrong way? No, I think it's the right way. I liked it the first time. Come on. There you go. And I'm not classing this as done. There will be other stuff upon it. There'll be like a label, or there'll be a something up there. I don't know what it is at the moment. So that's a reasonably quick finish on that one. Let's move him up while he's drying and the others can come down. Now I think we're just down to finding the right bits of ephemera now. So let's have a look. What have we got as a feature? Right, flowers box. If anyone's asking about these containers, I will endeavour to put the link to a box where I described everything that I did in these. Actually, that looks nice on there, doesn't it? Just define the edge of this, because otherwise it will blend. Well, I'm going to try and do one of sort of each style. So let's consider flowers done, unless I find... Come on, get in there. So I'm looking at that, mind you. That might go up there. See, talk about indecisive, Ceri. Talk about indecisive. Right. You can see now what I mean about the background's orientation didn't matter. Right, that's there. And I did like this on here. I wonder if that's a sticker. You are a sticker. Let's get some glue on the back of you, because I don't trust washi stickers, or I don't trust washi anything, to be honest with you. I really like this. Let's see if I can pop that on there. And I like the way that that shows through. Bit of a burnish down. It's a nice subtle something. Right, let's see what else I've got over here. I've just pulled a handful of boxes down, guys. Right, here's some of my paper butterflies. Would one of these look good with a painted butterfly? I think that one definitely would. Right, there's a video for these as well. I will try and link all the videos, but please forgive me, guys, if I don't get all the links in there. I mean, I've got, I think it's over 700 videos on my YouTube channel. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to find all of them. I think this one's called Paper Butterflies, or Book Page Butterflies. Right, need to get a pen, need to draw in there, don't I? So just coming in, it's permanent uni pen, fine marker. Just going to come in and give the little darling a little bit of antennae work, and then he's done. Right, these are not done completely, they're just in process. Right, so we've got something with a butterfly on it. What else have I got over here? Fish. I haven't done fish for ages. Is there a fish in here that we think could go on here? Now remember, it doesn't have to be the right size to fill the whole thing. Whether that kind of is, but it wasn't my intent. Now, I know some of you are probably going to go, fish? Fish, really? Yeah, fish. There are fishermen in the world. There are people who like fish. So you never know. You might have a request for a journal from someone who's into keeping tropical fish or anything like that. So just going to come around the edge of this because, as you can see, it's cut, but it's not cut all the way to the edges. So I've still got white on here. So now, kind of like him, I'd like something behind him. Wonder whether I've got anything. Right, I've got some clear flower stickers here, and I think in here I've got something that might look like if that's on there, would that stick over there? So I think we're going to do that. These clear stickers, got them on Etsy somewhere. Now, I glue my clear stickers down exactly as I do with my other stickers. There you go, off. I don't know what it is about stickers. The moment I've got a camera pointed at me, I really struggle to get backs off stickers. I'm not saying I'm good at it, because goodness knows I'm not good at it. I struggle more times than I'd care to imagine. Oh, I've stuck it to some washi now. I care to imagine. However, when you're not watching, I can get them off a lot easier. And yes, I've tried all of the tricks you've generously shared with me. Use a pin, use a poker tool, use umpteen other things. And yes, I do use a lot of those ideas. They don't always work for me. The one I like best of all is I basically just use a bit of sticky tape on the back and bend it back. But anyway, got them on there. Right, Mr. Fish can go on there now. I just wanted to give him some sort of reason in the background. A little tiny bit of his tail. If you're squeamish, look away. Never knew it was there in the first place. Right, so he's going to be okay. That leaves me with two more to just get started. Right, what do we want to do on these people? Right, okay, postage stamps, right. These are the postage stamps I make myself. And yes, there's definitely a video on those. I really went for that one. Well, that one would have been nice on here, wouldn't it? Actually, I think I'm going to put that on there. If I tuck that in there, that's going to look really nice. It does need a little bit around the edges because it's really white on a very tan background. And I'm going to put this one on with art glitter glue purely because it's a bit shiny, the surface of this. Just lift up that, tuck it in there, make sure it's straight-ish. Okay, that was nearer being done than I thought it was going to be. Right, I was thinking of mushrooms, wasn't I, for this one? Actually, there's a mushroom stamp. Not a very big mushroom stamp, though, if I've got a bigger one. Is 2 mushroom stamps too much? I think we'll stick with this one. Again, it's probably going to end up in a fall journal, so let's get some action on there. Yeah, there's 2 videos out. Actually, I think one video may be out and the other one will be coming out. One is where one is already out and I've revamped postage stamps. And the other one was, I think it's coming out in May, I believe. And it's where I've made postage stamps using dies. Sorry, I'm finding it really hard to talk today. Right, last thing, let's look at some birds. Oh, you're a big mama, aren't you? Yeah, you're a bit, oh, actually, I'd have to cut your tail off though. That would upset a few people. Oh, look, there's an owl. I quite like the scale of that, but I think I need something else behind him Or her. Let's not be sexist. Right, something behind the owl. Let's have a little look in tickets. That seems to be the wrong colour brown. So that's slightly more. I don't mind that. I quite like the fact it's got some red in it, which might lead to some other thing I put on here that might have red on it. I'm not sure. I mean, I'd like to pick up the yellow in the owl's eyes, but that's probably going a step too far. Ooh, 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 stay in my fingers. Right, I quite like that by there. Where's my owl gone? Come on, pin and glue. There you go. Right. I still think you need something going across the bottom. That's not it. That's not it either. Right, it may not be in here, that's why. Maybe it's not. Let's have a look at another something. Right, this is a box of what I call elements. It's just all the little bits and pieces I've gathered all over the time. I think that's what I'm looking for. Is that a sticker? No, it's not. Right. You can go down across the bottom, and then this one might be very close to finished. So that goes across there. It gives the owl something to stand upon. I think I'll put this on with our glitter glue as well. Right, this one probably just need a little bit of a label. That one will be in a little bit of a label. We're into this sort of region now, right? Is there anything here? A sticker, it feels like a sticker. It is a sticker. Right, let's get this across the bottom of there. Right, anything else on here? Right, that's almost finished, that's almost finished. Anything that will go with this? Marriage. And anyone who knows that reference? Yeah, I'm just going to leave it as that. I don't mind green on there. I know it's autumnal, but I don't mind the green on it. Let's actually just put that down. I quite like that. I know that's a sticker. Isn't it funny? Some stickers I can get off almost instantly. Others I can stand there for half an hour trying to get them off, and they never come off. Let's go off the page a bit, off the tag a bit anyway. I tend to smooth the washi stickers down because it almost burnishes them into the background. Right, that's not a million miles off. I think this would probably just need a label and a number. Where do I put numbers? That's the right number. I'll just hit some of the edges. Be a bit gentle with the older paper because sometimes the older paper breaks, as we've seen. That just needs a couple of labels. So we're up to here now. Anything bigger in here that I fancy looking at? What's that one there? See, that looks kind of nice. I've got a feeling that's not a sticker. No, it's card. If it was a washi sticker, I'd probably have done it. No, not feeling any more of those. Right, I'm wondering on this one. I've got some Tim Holtz minis. I was going to say, I don't know that I used them yet. I bought them, but I don't know whether I've used them. That's quite cute. That's Trouble Coming in Threes. Oh, look, here's the Ladies Who Lunch. Oh, the Ladies Who Lunch could be sat on that sign, couldn't they? Yeah, they're all sitting on there. That works perfectly. It was as if it was meant to be. Right, now I do know with the Tim Holtz people, I always go around the edges, because I don't know if you can see, there's always a bit of white from the core of the cardstock showing through. Just hitting it with a bit of vintage photo takes away that. So it's not as obvious. And I don't need to ground these ladies because we're already sat down on something. So for once, I don't have to think about that. Maybe these are the ladies of the Gardening Society. Pity she's got a leaf coming out of her head, but you know what? She'll deal with it. She's a lady of a certain age. Right, what's this that's flying over here? That's debris. Right. I'm not sure this needs much at all. I think we're just going to try and do some tickets, some labels. Right, let's pull the bottom one out and find a label for it. Right, these are Tracy Fox rather random mix labels. They're a recent purchase for me. And as with all of Tracy's labels, I absolutely love them. Balance, that's a really nice word to put on there. Yes, I think about there. Right, we'll look at them after we've done them, guys. Right, now there's red on here, and I know there are some red labels here. Oh, we've got balance again. What's the wrong colour red, though? I don't mind that, though. And I don't mind that with that. So let's put account on there. That does feel quite bare. It feels like it needs something else. I know that it needs something up there. Do you think? Am I reaching for these because I've just suddenly remembered I own them all? Just having a quick look, guys. Bear with me. Oh, she's the one I always turned into a little fairy, isn't she? Maybe she can be someone who's not a fairy for once. She's probably so sick of being turned into fairy folk, but I just think she's perfect. She's got that attitude about her that makes me think you're very aloof. She's almost looking down on me. Do you know what I mean? Right, I haven't given her anything to be grounded by, so need to deal with that immediately. Right, she's on there. Oh, what's that stuck there? What's that little thing? Exchange. Okay. Right, she's on there. She needs something to stand on because if I don't ground my Tim Holtz people, guess what? You are going to go after me because I always tell you to ground yours. So just going to come in with a bit of ink. Oh, it needs to be a bit higher. Her heels need to be on ground as well. There you go. She's grounded. And I've also got brown all over my mat. Okay, this one will probably come to life when there's a tag in there. Right, this one needs something along the top. Oh, did I see something green? Thought I saw something green. That kind of feels right, but I need something across. I did see something green. I still feel it needs something else. Oh, maybe if I put a number there as well. There's a glue stick gone. So if I put that up there, and I've just seen these little numbers here. Oh, actually, it doesn't look right now. Oh, something's not feeling right. I'll put that to one side and we'll come back to that one. Right, these ladies are doing fine. I seem to always be putting something there, don't I? That's too big. Right, this could be the Natural History Society, couldn't it? So let's take that off there. Pop you back in there. Give you a bit of ink. Oh, the sun's just come out. So these are the Natural History Society. And they need something here to be natural historying about. We'll get back to that. Right, let's get the other labels. Right, these Tracy Fox labels are more, I want to say these were called field notes or something. In fact, I'm certain they were either field notes or science notes or something along those lines. So I think there's going to be something that's going to be absolutely perfect for this. Miscellaneous, wouldn't do miscellaneous because it's a fictitious butterfly anyway, because I made it up. Come on, come off my paper. Not allowed to be stuck to anything. And I think you're done as well. Right, so I've got those. So right, you definitely need something. Oh, I wonder. So I think I just saw something and it's disappeared on me. Oh, it's disappeared totally now. Right, this says specimen, and I think this could be a display specimen. I'm considering that one done. Right, you definitely need something oldie worldy looking. You can go there. I feel this needs something there, however. I don't mind the overlapping of labels. I thought there was, I did see one of those. Yeah, I'm very much someone who likes layers upon layers. And part of the reason of that is I think when you look at something, you continue to look at it if it's got more depth, as in layers and layers of stuff. Yeah, consider that one done. This one actually just needs a little something there, doesn't it? It does feel like a very busy. What are you? Oh, you are the tiniest little label I've gonna glue down today. Just a little something by there. I just slide it up so it covers those numbers underneath. Oops, not that much, Griffiths. There you go. Right, so we've just got these two. Now, if this is a Natural History Society, I think they may need a flower. I wasn't going to repeat things, was I? But kind of maybe. That's too big. Can you see these? You can see these. If you're hunting for stuff like this on Etsy, just put in flower washi sticker and they will come up. That's a bit dull. I quite like there to be something with a little bit of life to it. because some of these ladies look a little bit miserable to me. That's not the right thing. Well, that's very much of a generation. That's not going on there. Ooh, ooh. No, you're too short. Darn. I thought I had it for a second. What is this? Is that a washi sticker? It is, but I don't like the square edge of it. I'm not feeling it. Needs a bit of colour, that's what that needs. Yeah, it's not in this box. Let's put it that way, it's not in there. So one quick look at the clear flowers. We may have to stop the video again for me to peel the back off these if I'm not careful. That wasn't yellow, that would be perfect. Actually, I don't mind that green. Ooh, there's roses. No, roses are, I quite like this green idea. Let's just put this by. Right, fingers crossed I can actually get the backing off this quick enough, because I don't actually want to stop the video again. Come on, no messing about from you now. Ooh, I did it. Right. I don't need the whole label, so I'm just going to snip that bit off. I'm going to pop this back in the clear box, because you never know, I might need a little bit of foliage at some point. There you go, that's just what that needed. It just needed a little something to bring it back to life. It is a bit dull, but then if I've got a tag that goes in there, it'll be fine. This is lacking something. Did I look at? Don't know what this. Oh, I know, we haven't used a butterfly yet, have we? And I don't mean a paper butterfly. I mean one of my, not one of my butterflies. I mean a butterfly like one of these. Actually, that one might be exactly what we're looking for. There you go. I should have opened that box 20 minutes ago, shouldn't I? Let's get him stuck down. Give him some antennae. That'll tie all of those together. Right, put lids on glues, Griffiths, or everything's going to dry out on you. In you go, there you go. Right, clear the decks, everything out the way, glue paper away. So, Michelle, hopefully that was what you were hoping. Now, if I'm putting this on a page as a pocket, this is the thumb notch. I glue along here, here, and here, and I put it onto a page, and then you can tuck something in there, and you can tuck something in there. So you could tuck something into this pocket, and you could tuck something into the pocket behind, which is how you saw me use them at the beginning of the journal. Beginning of the video. However, if this is the top, if you glue just along there and along there, so you've got this side and this side done, you can put something larger in it. So you could stick something in there, or if you did this side on the opposite page, you could stick something in there. So if you've got a larger journal card, you could do that. So let's just round out by having a look at what we did. So this is one that isn't a time card. This is one that is a time card. This is a time card, and these are in no order. Time card, not a time card. This was ledger. This was stamped. This is not a time card. And this is not a time card, but I did put music paper into the background. So there you go, Michelle. Hopefully that helps you in seeing what I did. And obviously going back to the originals, excuse my arm in the way, these are the originals that we've done, just so you can see the variety of stuff I'll put on them. And having a tag in them will really change the character. Like, that looks quite boring, but the moment you put that in it, it comes to life. This again looks a bit blank, put something into it, comes to life. These ladies, there you go, you've added more interest to take the eye up. Let's move those out of the way. This one, even the fish one, it just adds something else. So you have the opportunity of carrying the eye up, because then if there's a taller tag behind it, you would then have more colour there. Do you see what I mean? So it's not, yes, finish them off beautifully, but don't worry, like, that's almost a perfect tag for that, because the stuff behind it will carry the design through. Like, I must admit, this bit here is too orange for me, but I know the moment I put a tag in a place, it'll be fine. So, I've forgotten where that came from now. It come from there, I think. So guys, hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully it isn't too long of a video. And I can tell you what it is. It's Ceri the Crafter. That's Ceri the Crafter. Until next time, goodbye now.